Hello students and welcome to the data classes by St. Paul's. My name is Ravi Nanda. I am your social studies teacher. Today we are going to start our fifth chapter in evaluation first, and that is the equatorial region Congo Basin. But before we start our fifth chapter, I just want to tell you one important thing. Students, those who have not their book, purchase it very soon, because it is very important that you all have your book, because without your book you can't understand whatever I am telling to you or whatever I am explaining to you. So if you have your book, you can open your book and match the topics, understand the topics, whatever I'm just explaining here to you. So those students who have not yet not have your book, just go to the market and purchase it very soon. Okay students, that's why you can understand whatever I'm just explaining. Okay, so let's start our fifth chapter, that is equatorial region Congo Basin. And in this chapter we will study about the location of equatorial region, wildlife, life of the people, important cities, climate and vegetations, economic activities, transport, etc. Okay, so let's talk about the equatorial region. And in the previous chapter we have learned so many things about the mountains, landforms, weather and climate, and maps, languages of maps, and about the globe, a model of Earth. So in this previous videos we have learned so many things. Let's start our fifth chapter. The region lying between 10 degree north and 10 degrees south of the equator are known as the equatorial region. So students, first we talk about the equatorial region. So before we talk about the equatorial region, we just want to know what is the region which is called the equatorial and what is the equator. So if you want to understand what is the equator and the region which is lying between the equator, it is called equatorial, you must have your book. And if you have your book, you can open the page number 12. Page number 12 from your book. And here is the topic about the parallels. And in the parallels topic, there is a description about the equator. And I am just reading the paragraph. The longest latitude that passes through the center of the earth midway between the North Pole and the South Pole is called the equator. In this chapter, this is the first chapter, in this chapter we have learned the parallel lines, the vertical lines. And in the topic of parallel lines, here is a description of equator. So the longest latitude that passes through the center of the earth midway between the North Pole and the South Pole is called the equator. I am just showing to you. In the previous chapter we have learned that what is the equator. Suppose this is our earth, okay, and this one is North Pole and South Pole, East and West Pole. Okay students, so the line between the North Pole and the South Pole, which is just cut or mid line of the earth between the North Pole and South Pole, it is called the equator. It is called the equator. Okay. It is called the equator. And a degree we give 0 degree. Okay. So it is also called the 0 degree latitude, and it divides the earth into two equal halves. This line divides the earth into two equal halves, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Okay, so the halves are called the hemispheres. The part of the earth to the north of the equator is called the northern hemisphere. This part is called the northern hemisphere, and the part of the earth to the south of the equator is called the southern hemisphere. Okay, and the region between the 10 degree north just line near about 10 degree north and 10 degree south, this region is called the equatorial region. Okay, so the regions lying between 10 degree north and 10 degree south of the equator are known as the equatorial region, and this area covers a large part of the world, including countries like Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, Nigeria, Uganda, Guinea, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Malaysia, Indonesia, etc. Okay, here we can find so many countries in this region, 10 degree north, 10 degree south from the equator. Okay, and in this chapter we will study about the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And one more thing, this region is very hot. Here we can find a very hot and humid climate because the sun's rays fall directly on the equator. Okay, that is why this region is very hot. The climate of this region is hot and humid. Okay, so now let's talk about the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which is also called a DRC. So the Democratic Republic of the Congo is situated deep in Central Africa. If you have your book, you can see the picture of equatorial region of the world on the page number 43. From 1971 to 1997, it was named Zaire. Okay. From 1971 to 1997, it was named Zaire. Democratic Republic of the Congo was named Zaire. It is the second largest country in Africa and has an area about 3.5 lakh square kilometer. The capital of Congo is Kinshasa. Okay? Actually, in this chapter we have studied about the particular region which is called the Democratic Republic of the Congo. There is lots of countries in this region, but we are talking about the DRC. Okay, so it is surrounded by land on all sides except a small region which faces the ocean. Okay, and it is surrounded by 9 neighboring countries. Example, Congo in the west, the Central African Republic and South Sudan in the north, Angola and Zambia in the south, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda in the east. Okay, so the Democratic Republic of the Congo is surrounded by the 9 countries. Alright, students, the equator passes through the country. If you have your book, you can see the picture. There is a map of Democratic Republic of the Congo. Okay, you can see the map here. We can find the map. Alright. So, the equator passes through the country, and 1/3 of the country is in the northern hemisphere and 2/3 lie in the southern hemisphere. Alright. Congo River flows in the central part and is surrounded by mountains and plateaus. Just let's talk something about the Congo River. Congo River, which is formally named as Zaire, and it is the second largest river in Africa, and shorter only than the Nile. Nile river also here we can find. Okay, so it is a second largest river in Africa, as well as the second longest river in the world by discharge volume, following only the Amazon. Okay, students, following only the Amazon. So the river, Congo River, which is found in the DRC, it is the second largest or longest river in Africa. Alright, students. Number 1 is Nile. So it cuts the equator twice and is popularly known as the highway of Central Africa. The Rwenzori Mountains lie toward the northeast. Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu and Lake Tanganyika lie along the eastern border. Okay, student. So this is the location of the DRC. It is surrounded by 9 neighboring countries. It is faces only one side, sea. Alright. The Congo River is the largest river in this region. Alright. And Congo River is the second longest or largest river in Africa. Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu, these all are just we can find along the eastern border. Now let's talk about the climate. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has a hot and wet climate throughout the year due to its location at the equator. Rainfall occurs all the year round and it is abundant means in a very large amount. It rains heavily every afternoon accompanied with thunder and lightning. Humidity is high, which makes it uncomfortable at times. So the question is arise, why the DRC or the equatorial region hot and humid climate? I'm just explaining to you. The DRC has a hot and wet climate because it lies in the equatorial region, and it is hot because it receives direct sunlight, and the seas which are just around it, the seas, because the sunlight and the seas evaporate fast because the heat, and that is the reason for humidity and rainfall. Alright. So when the sun rays fall directly on the equatorial region, so the seas which is just found in this region evaporate fastly. Okay, and it makes the climate humid. That's why this region is hot and humid, because it faces directly sunlight. Okay, so the hot and wet climate of DRC is known as the equatorial climate. Alright, students, that's why the equatorial region has hot and wet climate, because it faces the sun rays directly. Now let's talk about the vegetation. This region has thick evergreen forest due to the heavy rain. Trees are tall and evergreen with hardwood. These forests are uneconomical because of the thick undergrowth of bushes and shrubs which make transport impossible. So, as we know that there is a hot and wet climate every time there is a rain, that's why the forests are very thick. The forests are very thick. Okay? The forests are very thick. The shrubs and herbs are very thickly grow in this region. So, trees are tall and evergreen with hardwood, and these forests are uneconomical because of the thick undergrowth of bushes and shrubs which make transport impossible. Ebony, mahogany and rubber are some useful trees of these forests. Okay? The tall trees form a canopy above which shuts out the light from reaching the ground. Okay? The tall trees make the canopy and stop the sunlight by the canopy. Okay? The tall trees form a canopy above which shuts out the light from reaching the ground. So the forest is dark and damp. A variety of plants are found in these forests. Alright students, variety of plants are found in these forests. And one more thing I would just want to tell you, one information. Bonobos are found only in the Congo rainforest. They are the closest relative of the human beings. Bonobos are some animal which are just closest relatives to the human beings. So now, here is a picture about the bonobos. If you have your book, you can see the bonobos picture in your book. Now let's talk about the wildlife. Many types of animals such as monkeys, gorilla, pigeon, chimpanzees, baboon, okapi, a horse-like animal, deadly insect including the test fly which causes sleeping sickness, and pythons are found in these thick forests. Marshy areas are home to elephants, rhinoceroses and hippopotamuses. A large variety of birds is also found here. Okay, this is the wildlife of DRC. A large variety of birds is also found here. Congo has such a wide variety of wildlife that it is called the natural zoo of the world because it has lots of trees. It has a thick forest. That's why so many animals, so many kinds of animals are found in this region. That's why it is also called the natural zoo of the world. Hunting, however, has reduced the number of animals. The hippopotamus is facing extinction. Alright students. So now let's talk about the economic activities. Farming is the main occupation in this region. Shifting agriculture is still in practice. Do you know what is shifting agriculture? I think you all have seen the rice agriculture. For the rice cultivation, first we have to grow the rice plant in a particular area. Then when they grow up, we just put them out from that side and just bow them in the another field. This kind of agriculture is called the shifting agriculture or the shifting planting. Alright, so the shifting agriculture is still in practice. Major food crops are rice, maize, sugarcane, cotton and cassava. Cassava is a root. If you have your book, you can see the cassava. Okay, cassava is a root crop and is the main food of the people of the DRC. The cash crops of this region are cocoa, it means the coffee, tobacco, cotton, rubber and palm oil. Alright, this region has a lot of mineral wealth. Large deposits of gold, diamonds and copper could be found in this region, but people here have not been able to fully utilize these resources for development because to underdeveloped industries, most of these minerals are exported because there is a very difficult to make the transportation. So very less transportation, for very less transportation, most of the minerals are exported. Alright. Now let's talk about the life in this region. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, it is called the DRC, got independence in 1960 and is thinly populated, over 79 million people. The climate conditions are not favorable here. That's why there is no large amount of population in this region. The people living in this region have to struggle hard for a living. The majority of them are Bantu tribesmen, and they are tall and have curly hair and live in a traditional way. They speak the Bantu languages and enjoy music and dance. People living in the Congo basin are called the pygmies. They are short. They are short in height and live in temporary huts. Most of the huts are built on trees or on poles because the ground is wet and marshy. Alright? So they move from one place to another in search of food. Hunting and gathering food are their main occupation. Okay? So there are two types of people living in this region. Number one, the Bantu tribesmen, and number two is pygmies. Bantu tribesmen are the tall and curly hair, and they speak the Bantu languages, the Bantu language, and there is another type of people are living in this region, that is called the pygmies. They are short, okay, and they just go or just move one place to another place in search of food and their main occupations. Food and gathering food, okay, and these are the main occupation in this region. Alright students, now let's talk about the transport. The transport system is not well developed in this region, as it is difficult to construct roads and railways through the thick forest and marshy land. Alright, that is why most of the minerals are exported. Okay. Water transport is an important means of traveling in this region. After independence, there has been some development in the transport system. Air transport is fast becoming popular here. Alright. So railways and roadways are very difficult in this region. Now let's talk about the important cities in this region. Nearly 30% of the total population lives in towns and cities. Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is the largest city in this area, and it is situated in the west of the country. Other important cities are Lubumbashi, Kanagna, Kisangani and Matadi. And Matadi is the main seaport here. Alright students, so we have learned about the DRC. We have learned about the location of DRC in this chapter. Also we have learned the climate, which is very hot and humid climate in this region. Vegetation is very less. Okay, vegetation is very less. Some main variety of vegetation is there. Okay, and wildlife, so many kinds of animals are there in this region. Okay, variety of plants are found in this forest. Okay, vegetation is very large in this region, but they are uneconomical vegetation. Alright, because there are so many thick forests. We have learned about the wildlife. We also have learned about the economic activities. Shifting agriculture is still in practice. Life in this region, we have talked about the two kinds of people in this area. Transport system is very difficult, and we have also learned about the important cities in this region. So this chapter is over, and if you don't understand any kind of topic, you can ask me and on my phone. So till then, you just keep your work, and if you don't have your book, you just go to the market and purchase it very soon, and just try to understand whatever written in this chapter. Alright students, so till then, goodbye, stay home, stay safe.